Peace. When you study Hermeticism, you will come across the 7 Hermetic principles. The first principle is the principle of mentalism, which basically states all is mind, the universe is mental. Now, how do we interpret that? I interpret that by going to the popular saying that perception is reality. Your perception literally borns reality. That's what all is mind, the universe is mental means to me. Your mind is very powerful. It sounds cliche, it sounds simple, but a lot of us do not bear witness to that fact because that's how we have been engineered and programmed. We have been programmed and engineered to seek things outside of ourselves for the power that exists within our minds. So they don't want to teach us that all is mind, the universe is mental, because that will give you your power back. Instead, they will instruct you to seek outside of yourself for some power, for some strength, because that's the only place that you can get it, outside of yourself. That is the lie that they like to teach us. That is the way that they like to instruct our minds. So we got to understand how simple life is, yet we tend to make it very complicated. When it comes to how to succeed in life, that the answers to these things, to these matters, is very complicated because we feel like if it was so simple, everybody would be doing it. But there's the paradox right there. We complicate things. So we don't know how to not only embrace simplicity, but we don't have the discipline to devote our time and energy to things to things that are simple. Just look at diet per se. Y'all know I do not like that word, but just look at one's regimen. In order to stay in shape, create the body that you would like to have, and reach that optimal state of health, the way that you eat and the exercises that you need to do are rather simple. It's not complicated. But what do we tend to do as humans? Oh, that's boring. That's dull. I need to switch it up. Things along those lines. And so we start seeking ways to switch up the diet, switch up the workout routine. All the while, if you stick to the basics, you will not only achieve the goal that you are striving to achieve, but you will surpass the goal by sticking to the basics. But the basics and the simplicity of life, it throws us off. We don't have the discipline to stick to the basics. We don't have the discipline to stick to what's simple. So why do we think we have the discipline to stick to what's complicated? Why do we think we have the discipline to stick to what's difficult? We don't. If you can't master the basics, if you can't master what's simple, then I'm going to need you to hold off on trying to master what's actually really complicated and difficult. Focus on the basics. Focus on what's simple. That's what we need to do. Now, going back to the Hermetic principle, the first one, the principle of mentalism. All is mind. The universe is mental. Perception is reality. So when it comes to achieving things out of life, understand where that power lies first. It lies in the mind, with the thought, with the spoken word. So you are in control in that regard. And they tell you, focus on what you can control. What you can't control is your own mind, your perception. That's really literally the only thing you can control. You cannot control somebody else's perception. You cannot control anything that's outside of you. So don't focus on that. Always focus on the inside, the internal. That's what you can control. Focus on your perception. Again, you cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how it is perceived. And I talked about duality. There is a positive and negative to everything. It's all about the perception. So literally, your perception is reality. What type of reality do you want to create for yourself? You are in control of that, not anybody else. So understand that power. Understand the power of perception. Understand the power of the mind. Understand the power of you. And once you understand that power, utilize that power. You are very powerful. Your mind is very powerful. Start acting like it. Start living like it. Start thinking like it. And just see how your reality shifts. So again, the Hermetic principle, the principle of mentalism, all is mind, the universe is mental. I want y'all to ponder on that particular principle tonight. What does that particular principle mean to you? How do you perceive that principle? And how can you utilize that principle to better your life? That's homework for you all tonight. Again, perception is reality. What type of reality do you want to create for yourself? You have the power to create that reality.